General von Trotta issued orders for his troops that no quarter was to be given to the enemy. No prisoner were to be taken, but all, regardless of age, sex, were killed. We can't say how many were killed. Men, women, and children were all shot like dogs and wild animals. Our people have disappeared now, and all our lands is owned by the Germans. We asked for peace, but von Trotta said there would only be peace when we were all dead. He intended to exterminate us.
And what started you to found this music?
My great-grandmama was actually a slave here in Swakopmund, and she was actually a survivor, and decided to start this project to keep her memories alive. And so ever since 2015, I've been running this project. Yeah. When you go to town, there's a place called Peter Antique. They are still displaying and selling Nazi swastikas, and even during the German Carnival, they were even parading with the Ku Klux Klan's, attire. So these people have no remorse, and every year they are commemorating in front of that memorial, and we managed to stop them, and that memorial is commemorating German soldiers that killed our people. And it's still in a town center in Swakopmund.
Has there been any more movements to sort of remove it? Because I know Windhoek had some success.
Yeah, last year we removed the image of Otto von Bismarck. As we know very well, he was the first German chancellor who organized the Berlin Conference for the African continent to be divided. So we removed his image last year, and this year we are going to remove his street names. And very soon this memorial will also be removed. So all these pictures are taken inside of the Swakopmund concentration camp. Let's see. So here in town now, it's a pier. Now there's a restaurant here. But they call it a jetty, but but now they put a restaurant. So this is actually a German newspaper. Some Herero kids were holding in a concentration camp, and von Trotta was actually issuing a statement that he will exterminate all the Herero from the face of the earth. So walking them slowly to death was part of also a way how to get rid of them. They were working from Monday to Sunday non-stop, and most of them, their hearts just stopped from exhaustion.
Yes, it's 70 old. Yeah. And so I'm fifth generation. It's the fourth generation, meaning that the story she heard it directly. I mean, I heard it directly from my grandmother, who used to teach my mom. So, she made that.
Okuchumviriro oshitwa tovandu ishi avetuvepa nokuhina china nandale chimona nongombo iwe moshunda umuna kusho shinachwe avetuvepo nyonene.
The Hereros were killed by the Germans. The German killed us. At least, even if you pull a goat from the crowd and you want to slaughter it, you feel it like it's your thing. But the German kill us without mercy or even disregard for our humanity, the manner they have killed us. And they almost decimated us.
Omwashe oshakambuliwa mu mulungu aina kudamatale inakula mambo ondike ka kungabe usokutarera omwashe shaumbwa meulune kandi wandu akulama okaongoni aumbwa meulune ngwini ashakanini nenga atwerekenga aho mono mwasha wirepi abeto aumbwa meulwa oshapo ongulamino yao shibakulamana okusyakanina nenga ndimali hitima mwasi inawakulamambo okusya obantu isi oshive tuvepa nokuhina mpintu omutima uli.
The German really killed us without mercy, without even an inch of mercy or even heartfelt apology or whatever.
Omulumendu mukaindi wenguda hanambo oshakontwa shiwuru kudhamba antwa ko mukaindu ngatufeko muliro mabaulo bwengisi.
Even if they find a woman and wife, sometimes they will execute the wife, cut his head, and then give the head to the wife, and make sure that you scrape the head clean.
On our return journey, we again halted. There, near a hut, we saw an old Herero woman of about 50 or 60 years, digging in the ground for wild onions. A soldier jumped off his horse and shot the woman through the forehead at point-blank ranges. Before he shot her, he said, "I'm gonna kill you." She simply looked up and said, "I thank you." I saw the bleeding bodies of hundreds of men, women, and children, old and young, lying along the roads as we passed.
Now you can imagine driving from there, from Baltimore to DC before you hit Virginia line. Is a one belongs to two people. Farmland. Not that we don't know, because we know how they took the land from us. After the defeat from Waterbury battle, every cattle and land or anything that were movable, unmovable properties that belonged to the Herero was confiscated by the German government and given to them. Up to this day, they have it. Elders sometimes they say, like, how do you compensate for this destruction of the community that happened to us? How do you put monetary value to this? Because otherwise you are going to devalue the lives of people who lost. Always. But then as an activist, I said, yeah, but reparation is just a matter of holding German accountable. Because right now, the farmers that I showed you, they denied that there was a genocide.
But what brought you to Namibia actually, like to document this exactly?
Like, I was really surprised that Namibia spoke German, and then I started looking into it, and I learned about the colonial history and how 80% of like the over Herero and Nama populations were killed. And I've been taking German for like almost 10 years now, and I never, ever heard about the genocide. Like,
One of the first genocides of the 20th century.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I could tell you how many lessons I've heard about the Weimar Republic and about like all that stuff, and I'm like, you guys couldn't spare like 10 minutes to talk about this event where I feel like has been sort of put to rest. It's been like sort of it hasn't been given the international attention, or at least like the respect or like the memorial that I feel like a lot of other events in history has, especially for someone in the German department. Like, I understand if you don't want to teach it in high school, but at least to the people who are majoring in this should know about it.
right down here at the zoo park, there's a statue in the middle with this bird that represents German victory, German occupation, and it's in German language. It reads that, yeah, finally the German forces managed to fight off all of these natives that were trying to displace our inhabitants, our incoming people. It's just some propaganda, right? I don't really know what it properly says. But then a few Namibians actually sprayed on that statue. Um, you know, some cursive language. I want to use it on camera. But when you actually look at that statue, you get to understand how Namibians are feeling. They can't express themselves, but with that profanity, that type of language, you get to see that, oh, Namibians are aware of what the German population is doing, but this is how they want to express themselves. So I think it's very much needed that folks like us are there to kind of be a voice for them instead of using that type of expression. But also low key on one side, I kind of understand that, because it's frustration built up over years. It's not having a platform to express itself, and just this big inequality gap.
As a younger generation, we are sort of put in a position of, now why is it like that? So then when we think about the why, we're like, it's because it's a genocide. And I think even recently, a group of young activists, there was a statue just around here that used to be up of one of the Kaiser chiefs. And a lot of the youth were like, it doesn't make sense for us to have this statue that commemorates someone that attributed or contributed to the genocide of 80% of the specific tribal group. So we put out petitions, we put out so many calls like this needs to be put down. Eventually they did take it down. In front of the museum, we also used to have another statue that used to commemorate one of these people. We were like, let's not commemorate people that brought tragedy to our community. Let's rather uplift those who helped liberate us. So replace that statue with our founding father, who recently passed away, Sam Nujoma.
A lot of local fighters that were fighting these German forces. When they were captured, they were brought here. And after you were brought here, you were given this short trial to prove your innocence, but majority of the time, you'd end up being hanged right here. And if you weren't hanged here, you were probably sent off to the concentration camps.
So this is to the victims. But I'm pretty sure this is to the German victims, which is crazy. Yeah, the Deutschen Krieger. I'm pretty sure the German fighters. So this is basically a monument, like, to honor the German fighters who fell during the Herero War.
Zeichnen heute diese Ereignisse jetzt auch offiziell als das, was sie gewesen sind, ein Völkermord. Der Opfer mit einem substanziellen Programm in Höhe von 1,1 Milliarden Euro unterstützen. Dabei wird es ganz besonders um Wiederaufbau und Entwicklung.
The German government admitted for the first time officially that its troops carried out mass killings.
Officially being described as a genocide.
Officially recognized the killings as genocide.
First time acknowledging that it committed genocide.
Has previously acknowledged moral responsibility for the killings, has avoided making an official apology.
Germany and Namibia have reached a compensation deal
on how to atone for the atrocities.
1.1 billion euros. 1.1 billion euros. 1.1 billion euros.
1.1 billion euros over 30 years for development projects in Namibia.
This whole JD, or the Joint Declaration, is a product of a motion that was moved in Parliament in 2006 by the president of the party that I'm leading now. That man was also a traditional leader. He moved the motion in Parliament, that yes, Germany should recognize that they committed genocide against the Herero and Nama people of Namibia, that they should apologize and pay reparation. And that motion was accepted, adopted unanimously in the Namibian parliament. But then, in 2015, the two governments started talking to one another. The German government saying, yes, I don't talk to individuals and groups. I will talk to a sovereign state. Now we have been saying, but Germany have created a precedent, because with the case of the Jews, they have been negotiating with how many groups of Jews? 23, that represented the Jews all over the world, the state of Israel, and the German government. So all these three groups were sitting at the table to negotiate. So now we have been saying, but why is this not the case with the issue of the Namibian genocide? We are not saying the Namibian government should not be at the table, but we are saying let the affected communities also have their representatives at the table of negotiations.
What is currently being presented in terms of the deal and what history books are saying. And you can kind of see sort of the propaganda that was being spread to minimize the impact that they had and what their ancestors did onto our ancestors. And it was interesting to say, oh, we are willing to pay reparations, but we're going to say it's in today's perspective. You are contradicting yourself in the very same nature of saying that, oh, we want to make this right. We are going to negotiate with you. But we're going to pretend. We're going to say, oh, in today's perspective, it's a reconciliation, not reparations, to soften the language for the impact of what you did also to be softened. That is problematic. You want to retell history based on your view, and you are the colonizer. You are the reason why our country is where it is. You had a direct impact.
My story is not old, it's being told. Oh, the arrogance of victors to set the timeline, the arrogance of killers to set guidelines. My story's not history. It is about the burden of memory. It is about speaking up. I can't keep my mouth shut.
My great-great-grandmother was left under a tree to die. And so, and she described the general vicinity of the area, and I have been thinking about that, like, where could be her bones? What experience? What did the German soldier? Did the German soldier found her when she was there, and what did they do to her? Did they shoot her? Did they kill her? Did they burn her? Because this is what they used to do. So when I heard that story and the genocide, I said, like,
I am not going to shut up. I am going to speak up. I wrote my first poem because the first time I went to Swakopmund, and I went to see the grave, the unmarked graves of people who died in the concentration camps. And I heard the story, some of the buildings in Swakopmund around that area, they are built on top of the shallow graves of our people. Every year, Laidlaw, Peringanda, and other activists will go, and when the wind blows, some bones will resurface. So they have to put sand on again. It's an ongoing process. So our ancestors, or the desert for that matter, refused to bury our ancestors, our forefathers who died in concentration camps. Why? Because the spirit of our people is stronger. If they had been buried 6 feet underground, they could have been forgotten. But the Germans thought that they are worthless, just put in a shallow grave. But the bones are telling the story.
My story is about my identity. It is about my misery. It is about my dispossession. It is about liberation. My story is righteous. It is timeless. It is extraordinary. It is revolutionary. My story is not old. Oh, it is being told now. It is timeless. I can't remain silent. It is timeless. I can't remain silent.
I wish for all the pain away, and I wish for no more rainy days. I wish my people didn't beg for change, cause all we ever want was change. I wish the government would play its role. We got children in the streets without a home. I wish my people wasn't ever victims. Wish we never lived in such conditions. Yeah, they stripped us off our cultures, gave us these guns so we could shoot at our brothers. Yeah, instead of breaking them down, let's heal my brother. Time to build my brother. This time around collectively, we moving forward consciously, and all these structures failing us with implementing policy. My people stuck with poverty while y'all control economies. This time around collectively, moving forward consciously, and all these structures failing us with implementing policy. My people stuck with poverty while y'all control economies. I wish we all lived a life. Wish we all lived a